All right, let's get into it. Today, we are diving headfirst into one of the messiest, most important fights happening in tech right now. We're talking about the epic showdown between artificial intelligence and intellectual property. This is the real digital drama. And really, it all comes down to this one simple but super loaded question. When an AI creates something amazing, a piece of art, a song, a perfect block of code, is that a moment of pure genius? Or is it just a really, really sophisticated thief at work? That's what we're going to unpack. You see, this whole situation is basically a three-way fight. You've got the creators, the artists, writers, and coders whose work is out there. Then you have the AI companies, the ones building this wild new future. And stuck right in the middle, you've got these old-school IP laws that were written long before anyone ever dreamed of an AI. So let's break this down into the key dramas playing out. And that brings us to drama number one, the ownership drama. It's the most basic question of all. When an AI makes something, who actually owns it? This, my friends, is where the law just starts to completely short-circuit. So check this out, because this is the core of the problem. On one hand, the law's crystal clear. To get a copyright, the author has to be a human being. Period. But on the other hand, you've got these AIs pumping out incredible creative work that can rival and sometimes even beat what humans do. The old rules just weren't built for this. Yeah, this whole thing is a giant legal wall called human authorship. It's this core idea that to be an author, you need a human mind, human intention. And courts, especially in the US, have been pretty stubborn on this. They've said again and again, nope, an AI is not a person. It can't be an author. It doesn't matter how amazing the creation is. If a human wasn't the origin point, no copyright for you. So here's the workaround for now. The only way to own something an AI makes is to argue that the AI was just a really fancy tool, like a paintbrush or a camera. You have to prove that you, the human, were the real creative mastermind. And that means you can't just type in a simple prompt. You've got to show that you guided it, you crafted these super detailed instructions, and you heavily edited the result to make it your own. And hey, this isn't just about copyright for art and music. It is blowing up in the world of patents, too. Just look at the wild case of Davis. That's an AI that all by itself came up with two brand new inventions. When its creator tried to file patents with the AI listed as the inventor, the world's legal systems just broke. The US, the UK, Europe, they all said absolutely not. An inventor has to be a natural person. But then South Africa went the other way and said, yeah, sure, just to encourage innovation. It just goes to show you, nobody agrees on this stuff. Okay, moving on to our next drama. And honestly, this is probably the biggest, most explosive fight in this whole space. It's all about the training data. The question is simple. How in the world do these AIs get so smart? Well, they get smart because they eat. They consume an absolutely insane amount of data. We're talking more than 1 trillion, with a T, individual data points. Images, articles, songs, code, everything. It's all scraped from the internet and fed into the machine. The scale is just staggering. But where does all that stuff actually come from? The answer is pretty simple, and maybe a little uncomfortable. It comes from us. It's scraped from literally every corner of the web. The pictures you post online, the books you read, the songs you stream, all of it. A huge chunk of this is copyrighted material, and it's all being hoovered up to train these models, usually without anyone asking for permission or paying a dime to the people who made it. Now, of course, the AI companies have a defense for this, a really powerful one, actually. It's 2 little words: fair use. They argue that what they're doing is legal because they're not reselling the art or the books. They're using it for a transformative purpose, to learn. They say it's no different than a student going to the library and reading every book to get smart. And that very argument is now at the center of some gigantic lawsuits that could change everything. Okay, let's zoom in a bit and get really specific. Because for software developers, this isn't some abstract debate. Using an AI coding assistant can feel like a superpower, but it can also be like handling a ticking legal time bomb. This right here is the nightmare scenario. It's called license contamination. So here's how it goes down. The AI trains on all this open source code, right? Some of that code has a really strict copyleft license. It's kind of viral. It basically says, if you use even a tiny piece of my code, your whole project has to become open source too. The AI has no idea. It just sees good code. So it suggests a snippet to a developer working on their company's secret, valuable software. If the developer clicks accept, boom. Their entire multi-million-dollar project could now legally be forced to become free for the whole world. It's a devastating risk. And it's not just about what you might accidentally borrow. It's about what you give away. If your developers are using a public AI tool and they paste in some secret company code or a new business plan to get help, guess what? That data can get absorbed right into the training model. And then, down the line, the AI might just spit out a piece of your secret sauce to another user, who just might be your biggest competitor. This is exactly why big companies are banning public AI tools and paying for private enterprise versions. So, you've got all these massive risks floating around. What are companies actually doing to protect themselves? Well, they're not just sitting around waiting for new laws. They are actively building a defensive playbook to survive this thing. It really all boils down to putting the AI on a digital leash. It's a pretty simple 3-point policy. Rule number 1, the golden rule. Absolutely no sensitive company data goes into a public AI ever. Rule 2, mandatory human review. Every single thing the AI spits out, whether it's code or text, has to be checked and tweaked by a human. That's how you claim authorship and spot problems. And rule number 3, they're pushing the risk back onto the AI companies. They demand indemnification, which is a fancy legal way of saying, if your AI gets us sued, you're paying the bills. And that brings us to the final, looming question that hangs over all of this. This technology is moving at light speed. We're getting new models, new breakthroughs every couple of months. But the law moves at a snail's pace, built on decades, even centuries of precedent. So the real question is, can the law ever catch up to technology that's accelerating this fast? That's the challenge of our time. And right now, nobody knows the answer.